Coaches, what's going on? Coach Ian Tatum here about Coach Rapinick. And guys, this is episode number 8 of the Counterculture Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about equipment, wants versus needs, all things like, whether it be, equipment that you use for your linemen or for, your skill guys, whatever it is, equipment you might want or need. But before we get too far into it, Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's Thursday. I don't know if maybe us starting doing this on Wednesdays. Now I feel like it takes so long for the day to come, combined with the fact that we're doing it live now, which I enjoy. So we're making it though. Been a busy 2 days over here in Hereford, so starting to lose my voice a little bit, which is always a treat. But the sun's staying out later. You know what that means?
Yeah.
I know every week we say it's about that time, but I don't want to break tradition. It's about that time.
Yeah. So excited to get back with the kids like full time. Because like we said before, I'm doing Tuesday, Thursday. So today I was out there with the kids, and we didn't go outside, but we stayed inside and did. I broke it all the way down, and it was really good for me being there with them and seeing just the light bulb start light up for a lot of the younger guys as well.
Right.
So we broke down gaps, and we broke down techniques, and we broke down like what backside and play side means, and just bare bones of what day one stuff. And it was just really good, and got them on the board and had them drawing up stuff and like, hey, I want you to block all 5 positions, and I'm not going to help you. And then they'll be looking to me, and I'll just be like nodding my head, even though it's completely wrong. And then they'll be drawing it, and I'm just like, all right, now who's got him? Who's got that guy? And they're like, and I'm like, yeah, start over. So get them to understand it. I kind of want them to get understanding from like a coach's perspective, and that's kind of
right.
How I wanted to do it, because if they can do it on the field, they can problem solve for themselves. So it'd be awesome.
No question. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time on high school football, those things like teaching techniques and gaps and stuff like that is like assumed sometimes. So I that's one of the things that we've kind of looked at. Like, do we need to go back this far? Obviously you have the older guys who have heard it enough probably by now, but the difference in I would say a lot of the kids like knowledge of football is so broad, I guess would be the term, that you never really know. So it's probably best to cover it, especially a time like right now, where you're doing some days outside, some days in the classroom or whatever. That would be a great opportunity to do it, where you're not really having to like worry about installing stuff necessarily. Like, you're talking, I would say probably more general, I would guess, football stuff, to do something like that. And, that way, that everybody's covered. Like, they've heard it before. It's not like you're going to be, practicing in the spring or summer or whatever the case is, and they're hearing stuff for the first time. So I mean, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and especially with having to do install differently, because it's a new place for the kids, so having to change it up a little bit. But they're picking it up, and I'm glad it's a lot of young guys. Because I mean, the older guys, they'll be fine.
Right.
A lot of those things I was preaching last year, so they're fine. But moving forward, like the young guys need it, because sometimes until we really get up with JV, a lot of those guys get lost in the shuffle. So and having to learn on the fly, and then I feel like they get half taught some things. Excuse me. So trying to make sure those guys are getting taught fully. But before we get into it, guys, go ahead and sign in for us. Who are you? Where you coming from? Where you coach? All those type of things, so we know who's watching. And then make sure you like and then retweet the tweet as well, so more guys can come on and see it.
That's one of the things I really like about the spring is that, like you said, a lot of the time, we got kids who run track, to throw, we got a lot of baseball kids, stuff like that. So, and I think we talked about this before, like the majority of my starting receivers, projected obviously, are playing baseball. So it allows us to teach the younger kids or JV kids from last year who, may have a bigger role, hopefully have a bigger role when it comes to varsity. It allows you to really break stuff down with them. And, we install everything 3 times. So we install it in the spring, we install it at the beginning of the summer, we install it August or mandatory practice. So, that's a big thing for us is, ideally, obviously it's preferred that everybody wants every kid to be there every day. And in my opinion, if they are, then they have no excuse to not know everything that's going on.
Exactly.
And I think that really benefited us last year. We made a big jump as far as knowing system and stuff like that. And we had a lot of kids that were there every day and they heard that install 3 times. So the one in August was literally like, okay, we're running this. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Rep it, then let the younger kids get more reps. And, it allowed us to roll a lot faster. We planned 6 days for install, and we were able to get it done in like 3. And our starters weren't even really taking reps because they knew it all. So, that helped a lot. I think that we'll be, as far as, knowledge of what we're doing, we'll be fine. But, those kids that are running track or spring baseball or, whatever it is, they're only going to hear it twice. So, you hope that that's enough, but
Yeah.
hopefully it is. If not, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, Coach, let's get into a little bit of equipment. And we kind of talked about like a top 5 like list,
Right.
things. You want to break that down for us and kind of talk us through some equipment that, especially over at Perquimans, that you find are necessary.
Yeah, I mean, getting away from like, and I know when we were coming up with a topic, we talked about this, getting away from like helmets, shoulder pads, pants,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think something that's kind of overlooked, and some people do it and some people don't. There's schools in our area that they don't wear headsets. Um, that's something that I couldn't really imagine doing. I know head coaches that don't wear a headset, and it's not that I don't trust my coaching staff, but for me, I want to be able to communicate with everybody throughout the game. Whether it's press box, field, whatever the case is, offense, defense. Um, so I mean, I think that's something that you're either in it and you're getting them, or you're not. Obviously they've become very expensive. They always have like the newest one every year. I fell into the Portaphone trap today, actually. Um, we have the ones that came out, I don't remember, 3 years ago. We got like a trade up deal. And anyway, and they've been great. I love them. But I got an email from Portaphone about like the newest one that came out. And, I'm just like, dang, that'd be really cool. Those things are sweet looking.
Yeah.
Probably do the exact same thing. But, I think there's ways that you can get around, getting the most expensive one. Like I know a school that uses walkie talkies with like basically like a headphone.
Yeah.
Um, you know, that's something that you could get pretty cheap. I know before I got back to Perquimans, they were using like they would like God, what they do? They basically like 3-way called and stuff like that. And then we talked about it last week too with the headset app is another great option. It's little bit cheaper that runs through your phone, comes through the headphones and all that stuff. A more affordable option, but still gives you the ability to communicate during games. And like I talked about last week, we're going to use them for practice. And I'm looking forward to testing that out and seeing how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess I was looking at my list, and that's kind of like a lot of it was O-line centered, not really full program, which it is what it is. But first thing I think I would totally need, because it would solve a lot of issues, is a Crowther sled. I think a lot of people can agree to that, and nod
Yeah.
their heads to that. Just to work, just work double teams and working on, flipper technique, or we call it
Right.
gallop. They ain't really flipper, it's gallop. And all those different type of things you would like to get done with the crowd there. I think it's a great piece of equipment to invest in, and I think it'll pay for itself
Yeah.
tenfold the amount of work. And we would use it every day. So that's why I would say a need, because I think we would get extremely better, and we would use it every single day.
Is Honeycutt on yet, Coach?
I don't know. I don't know if he hasn't said anything. He said
We're
he was
gonna have
coming
to.
to. He said he was coming to join us, but he was coming to listen. But I don't know.
If
Yeah, coach. Yeah,
when
we
he
need one.
checks in, we'll talk about it again.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, and I think as like a modern day offensive line coach who understands how much technique is involved or evolved, I should say, from you know leading with your head, hands, like everything's forward leaned, all that stuff. Uh, to me, that's a, that's a want that's basically a need. If you're running zone blocking schemes, you need to have a crawler sled, in my opinion. Like we have a 5-man sled and a 2-man sled, and they're pushed all the way into the woods, and we just have our crowler sled like sitting there.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't use it. We use our other sleds more for defense than anything, for
Yeah.
like linebackers and DBs and stuff like that. So D line a little bit, but the way we play our defense is a little different. Um, so I mean, that's something that I think, especially as an offensive line guy, I think that's definitely something that running a scheme that's zone blocking where guys got to have eyes up. Obviously to me the technique with double teaming has evolved so much too. That I would lean that towards a need for sure.
Yeah. What about you? We got another one.
I think if you go offensive line again, and I don't know if my offensive line coach is watching, but he's been asking for him the past couple of years, or no, this past year. I think T boards are up there as well.
Yeah, I have boards on my list. Yeah.
And we had some ones at ODU that were incredible. I don't know what they were made out of. It was like a rubber type thing, but I mean, even just like a 2x4 or whatever. Um, we used to have 2x4s at Norview that we used for T boards, and I mean, you get the same thing out of it. I think if you could get anything a little bit wider too, it'd even be that much more beneficial.
Yeah. I'm. This is a want. I think it should be a need because of how great it is to have it near you. But if you have a field house, or if you don't, if you just have like an equipment room or like an athletic training room that's near your locker room, having washers and dryers right there,
Yeah,
near your equipment, is a game changer.
no question.
I've been near places where you have to throw all your stuff in a buggy, wheel it forever from where your stuff is, just to wash and dry your stuff, and it's time consuming, and it's just extra work that coaches really don't have time to do, right?
Right.
But if you have the ability to have them pretty close to where your locker room is, that is a game changer. So
Yeah.
having that washer and dryer there, and then as an equipment dude, that's huge for me.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it too, like how, like you said, how much time it saves, and we're blessed that we have that. And what we do is so we started every day. We would watch practice stuff, and then we split it to 2 days a week. So we do like the kids. We got a shopping cart. I don't know where it's from, probably Food Line in Hereford. And we push the shopping cart into the middle of the field house. They throw all their practice stuff. Laundry loops is another thing that I think should be on that list. And I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
They got their number with their loop or whatever. And a lot of the time, coaches are hanging out at your practice. You're talking about stuff. You're doing whatever, talking to the kids. you can move it into the dryer before you even leave.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about it the next day. You go get it right before practice. You throw it all back in the shopping cart, or if you're feeling generous, you hang it up in their locker or whatever, and you roll from there. I know, like when I was at Norview in Virginia, our field house was further from like where our washer and dryer were. But when COVID hit, they paid. We got an extra stipend to be able to have Coach Johnson. We got an extra stipend to be able to have somebody that, because they required us, the city required us to wash all the practice stuff and everything every day. So I mean, obviously that's a positive, but I think that, and there's so many things like that to me, like the location is very like makes it a need, you know. I got another one for you, and I guess like laundry loops too. If you don't know what those are,
Yeah.
it's a big like loop that has a clip on the end, and the kids like run it through their shirt, practice jersey, pant leg, whatever. They clip it, and it keeps all their stuff together.
But they don't. So
Right, of course. Right. But you look at like one of the most simple things that's probably made so much money. Like if you could invent something like that, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I would put goalposts on your practice field.
That's huge.
I don't know how far our practice field is really close to our game field. So if we had to run over there, we could. But you talk about extra transition time and all that stuff. But we have goalposts on our practice field, and that was one of the things that we asked because back in the day we played on the baseball field. So we got new goalposts when they moved our football field to its own, facility, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
And when they did that, that was one of the things that we asked for was like, can we get one? I have no idea where the other one is, but they gave us one on the practice field. So that's been very beneficial as well.
Yeah, because I've been at places where either you're going the game field or like we would take we'd have our big old chute, right, and we would have our kicker kick over the chute, and
I love
it. You do what you got to do, what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, and so and just making that transition from practice to game field, it can be annoying,
right?
But we would do it when I was at North Rowan. We practiced in the outfield of the baseball field as well. And so we would just run down the hill, run through the gate, and go to the game field. And so we would literally be there for that. But at Walkertown, like we would do that only if we were solely doing field goal PAT, we would go and start down there and then make our way up. But if we were going to we wouldn't stop practice and take off. Like so, we would, hey, let's kick over the chute or the sled or whatever's wide, and just try to get some height on it, and then we'll try to guess. But it's really just for the operation of everybody stepping and snapping and stuff like that. But yeah, goalposts on your practice field, that's huge as well.
I think I'm trying to think of stuff that we did because at Norview we didn't have them on our practice field, and the other thing too is like our game field by the time the season starts is in pretty good shape, and it's like a standard in my opinion that our community has grown to expect that our field looks good, which is fine. And our athletic director knows that as well. And he doesn't like to look across the road and see the kicker practicing over the summer in the same exact spot, of course, every single day on the game field. So that helps too. It keeps your field a little bit fresher. But I'm on a big PVC pipe kick recently, and I've seen people that have built goalposts out of PVC pipe. So that's another option.
Yeah. So when I was on when I was coaching private league ball, and we didn't have a budget for nothing. Yeah, we had one of our coaches, great buddy of mine. He works construction, and he built them. He had 5-gallon buckets and he put them PVC type pipes in there. He put concrete in it, let it set, and then he literally made goalposts for us. So every day we would lay it down, and we come back, we would stand it up and put it together, and he'd have goalposts. I mean, when you don't have something, you either make it happen or you do without. And so usually you better try to make it happen. So it's not going to be given to you unless you got to go earn it. So
yeah,
it's a good lesson to teach your kids as well.
That's right. There's no doubt about that. You got to find a way. Find a way. I think another thing, and I guess to kind of continue on the field thing, irrigation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily everywhere, but on the game field at least, irrigation is a big one. I think that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily think about. But I think that separates your field from being nice to very, very nice. But that's something that we're blessed to have also.
Yeah, we can't pick on our guy Trotter because he's not on here with us tonight. He has a nice turf field that is gray, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have to worry about that. But
and
all the rest of the people that have turf fields, you have a turf field, you're blessed. I know there's pros and cons to everything. I know there's obviously I know he's told us having the turf field, he has to fight to get practice time on the field because everybody uses it. Right. Whereas, if we have our practice field, no one's going out there on the practice field when we're out there practicing.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about scheduling conflicts. So there are pros and cons to having a turf field versus a grass field. But I think I would rather coach on a turf field, but as a player, I would rather play on a grass field.
No question.
Yeah,
I would definitely rather coach on a turf field because the amount of work, obviously like summer you're mowing grass, you're painting it, all that stuff, that would go away. But definitely playing wise, I would much rather have played on a grass field. I think I only played on a turf field like one time in my high school career, and it was really old and not in good shape, so it didn't feel like turf. But I remember some Saturdays at ODU staying on that turf and it being so hot.
Yeah, my first year as student assistant at Gardner Webb, we went to South Alabama in Mobile, and that was I've been to Mobile one other time. We drove through it to go, and so we experienced every weather conditions you could. It was 100 degrees down there in Alabama at kickoff. So it was 110, 115 on the turf. We had guys cleats were melting, and then we just out of nowhere it just starts to get super super windy. And then it starts raining, and there's a lightning delay because you're on the Gulf. So storm comes in, and then after it rains, and then the clouds go away, and the sun comes back out. It's humid and muggy. That was awful. So I was ready for it that game to be over for sure.
That's the other thing with turf too is all the pellets in your shoes.
Oh yeah.
I remember my dorm room just being covered in the rubber pellets. Mm-hmm. But all we ever had to do was drag it every couple weeks or whatever, and you were rolling from there. But I would like to get, if we had a turf field, I'd want it to be gold.
Dude, that would when the sun comes out, dude, they're gonna be blinding out there.
Yeah, gold with black lines would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be
crazy. It's like the team, it's like it was a D2, D3 team, whatever has the black field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely when the sun goes down, it would absolutely look dope. But I think when the sun's on it, it'd be we can't even look over there.
That's probably why nobody's ever done it.
Probably.
But I feel like the idea is definitely there, though.
Yeah. So, does your AD mow y'all's fields, or do you help with that?
I do.
You do it.
I mow our practice field and our game field. Now, if there's a situation where I'm out of town or something like that, he'll do it. But for the most part, we have fields across the road and we have fields on the same side of the school, and basically he cuts everything on the side of the school and I cut everything on across the road.
That's good.
And I don't know like how many acres our practice field is, but maintenance, like our maintenance department mows, I don't know, a third of it, but it's not like part of the practice field that like we paint or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I love mowing grass. Like, I
Yeah.
would rather mow grass every single day. And no offense to teaching, but like, I just love it. It's so like
Yeah.
peaceful to me. So, mowing grass is nothing for me. As long as like I'm not, it's not like a busy day or something like that. Like I'm gonna mow tomorrow. Um, and I can't stand painting.
Yeah.
Every time I paint, something goes wrong. Every time
Really
yeah.
talk about that, because I've had some paint stories before.
Are we ready to move on to the want list? Because I that will lead into the want list.
Let's do it. The want list.
Okay. So number one for me. And again, what's going on?
So Coach Fawcett.
We're still like ironing out all the details. So have you ever heard of the turf tank?
Yeah, man.
So we don't have a turf tank. We have something called a SWOSI. Same concept.
Got you.
GPS paint machine deal, whatever. I feel like I'm a fairly technologically savvy guy.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, some days I get it, some days I don't. Part of the problem is, so like you get a tablet with it, and that's how you control it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Android tablet.
Yeah.
I've never had an Android phone, so I don't know, like, how to work that. But we've had like some issues with like the spray nozzle and stuff like that. But I will say this: when that thing's rolling, it's rolling.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't have to sit out there and like watch it or anything like that. But you got to pause it and fill it back up with paint and stuff like that. That is something that, and we demoed the turf tank. Between you and me, I wish we got the turf tank. But being able to not have to worry about pulling a string every year, we paint the numbers by hand because the machine, it takes forever. But like the first time we paint it every year, we'll paint it with the machine. And you talk about some of the straightest lines you've ever seen. Well, the straightest line you've ever seen in your entire life. Now, at the beginning, for some reason, like it had problems with our field to where like some of them would just like tail off and it looked awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it saved us time, but the biggest thing that it saved us is like typically what we would do is when we painted for the first game, we'd get out there at like 6:00 in the morning because obviously it's August, and we'd get like 15 kids out there and pull the string, walk it, move it, pull it, all that. And we don't have to worry about that anymore. So that is something that, once we get it like locked down, and, obviously we went from using it at least once a week during football season to not using it through the winter at all. So, we got to like relearn it a little bit, but it does every sport. So that was one of the big things that we pitched was like, look, we can use this because we just put in a new track, and inside the track is a soccer field. So, we can use it for the football practice field, football game field. We can use it for the soccer field. We can use it for baseball, softball. The lines for like the throwers and track and all that stuff. I mean, it's great. So I would definitely recommend. I would recommend that.
Appreciate it, Coach Evans. Appreciate that, man.
If it's even, we got 3 leaving. It's tradition also.
Yeah, we have a turf tank. What I will say is this: that's probably the most bougie thing we have at that school.
How great is it?
It is very convenient. Over last summer, our previous AD, he schooled me on how to use it, and I haven't used it since that day. So I don't think I could go out there and actually work it right now.
Right.
But yeah. So we only like we use a game field like permanently. But for the practice field, we do it like in the beginning, so it does all the lines, and then from there we keep the lines up ourselves. 'Cause
Right.
it's a practice field. I mean, it's that big a deal. Um, so as long as we have the lines initially painted, we can just do it ourselves with aerosol. So, um, but yeah, doing that game field is dope. It is super time saving. It's cost effective. It can be finicky though.
Do
Like
y'all sit out there with it, or
um,
does somebody?
we when we did the game, we did the practice field. We stood out there because we were having to make sure like the paint was in it, and we
Right.
ended up getting like super thin like paint because we would like it was a whole mess.
Right.
The previous AD was tripping, but anyway, our new AD he will be out there. He'll do that with the game field. He'll just be
Right.
out there walking around chilling as it's painting the game field, but it's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
It's
Does
it's something you got to learn to do.
Yeah, this was the other thing that like part of me wishes we went turf tank, but at the end of the day, they are both very helpful.
Yeah.
Does your machine paint your logo?
No,
Okay.
no. We have a guy that does like I'm not sure what you want to call his class. Essentially, it's wood shop.
Right.
At the school, and he's really good at that. So
Oh,
he
nice.
paints our logo. He paints our logo in the middle. And you just have to do it once, and then you from there you're just retracing.
Right. Right.
But he's really good at that. And we share the turf tank with another high school. It's
Oh,
literally
okay, got you.
the next closest high school to is Atkins, which we actually play the first game of the season every year. So we actually share it, so it kind of makes it cost effective.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we can have that. So yeah, turf tank's
Part
the
of
way
the
to go.
reason part of the reason why we went Swozy too is because like after I think it's 5 years we own it. So that was a big part of it also. But
Yeah.
there's really since I've been here, when it comes to painting, like anything that needs to be painted is me and the AD. So,
Yeah.
that was one of our big things too, was like, we're adding this new field. We're going to have to paint it somehow,
Yeah.
so that part is big. But we've got it nailed down. We need a new nozzle. I
Yeah.
think our paint was too old also because I had some
Mhm.
problems with it on the soccer field this past week. But part of the technology thing. I mean, the good thing too is like with with our like our setup with it. The guy who is like our rep, I guess, is always like very helpful.
Mhm.
So I can be out there and I'm like, hey, it's me again. I forgot again how to make a new field. Can you teach me again how to do it?
Yeah.
Um, so like he'll like walk me through it over the phone, which is nice. Um, but I thought the turf tank was a lot faster with the numbers, I thought.
Mhm.
Just like the way that it did it. So like our machine, it does everything. Like it finishes the entire number before it goes on to the next one. And I want to
Nice.
say the turf tank went like across, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It just puts ticks. Yeah. But one want that I would say, let's see, had a turf tank before, top notch, time saver, 100%.
yeah,
Um,
I
I
think there's
mean,
a couple different like brands of them now, like the
yeah,
GPS paint machine deal.
yeah. I mean, once somebody comes out with the first idea or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
everybody's gonna come up with a cheap, version, or it doesn't have to be cheap, but like a different version of it.
Right.
But mine, it's not really equipment, but it's just something extra that you can purchase, and it will be a time saver. Would be you only use it for what you need to use it for, but I would say huddle assist.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I love coaching football. I love scouting. I love breaking things down. But the bane of my existence in coaching is doing down and distance. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, and I will
Terrible.
that's why I'm glad I have some years on me right now and I'm not the new guy usually. So I don't have to sit there and have to grind through doing him do the D&D on a game, But if you
It's
never
awesome.
had a down distance, you never had to pay your dues.
You're
You
so
know,
lucky.
so lucky, man.
It's what I did
Uh,
for 4 years of ODU.
yeah,
But
man. Like,
the box score makes a big difference too. It makes it a lot easier.
yeah. We would literally after games, we'd be sitting there ready, like just waiting for the sports information guys to bring us the sheets for the play-by-play. We could go and put it all in. But then what's bad is, especially at our level at Gardner Webb, we would play. Who do we play? We played Point University or whatever, and in their stadium, they had like their filmers literally were in the crowd. It was so bad. We had people walking in front of the camera. Like coach was awful.
Wow.
It was awful, and they might as well have been filming on their like flip phone. The quality,
Yeah, it's
so
terrible.
you really couldn't tell like what the first down was, and we had a guess, and we did have the play-by-play, thank goodness, but it was like so hard to be able to tell, and then to break down for the coaches, it was so hard to break down, the content for them as well. So, but yeah, I will if I can never have to do that ever again. I hate doing D&D. So yeah,
it's terrible. I think. Well, the thing is too is it's so time consuming to where like by the time you're done with it, you're just like I don't even like I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna say next is some kind of replay system. The best one that I've ever used is called GameStrat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of that or if anybody's heard of that.
I've heard of them, yeah.
GameStrat is like Huddle Assist, or excuse me, Huddle Sideline. We had Huddle Sideline when I was at Hickory, when I first left ODU, and the idea was phenomenal. I think it was the first year that they came out with it, and we had a bunch of issues. GameStrat we used when I was at Norview, and it was phenomenal. Never missed a play. It would literally, like, as soon as the play's over, you'd have it on the iPad, all that. It was great. Another cheaper option we have, and it's crazy, but we have security cameras. We have one mounted on our scoreboard. That's our end zone camera. And then we have one mounted on top of our press box. And one of the people in our community owns a I don't even know like what kind of business it is, but he does like Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So he set it up, and I have no idea how like the inner workings of how he set it up to make it work, but he set it up to where we have this app on iPads that it's basically the same thing. We can tag it the exact same way. We can, highlight a play, whatever the case is. We can draw on the screen, all that. And there's a joystick in the press box that whoever's filming just moves it around, follows the play, whatever, however you want it done. And it was literally the price of 2 cameras and like the joystick thing. That was it. And there's a TV screen or a computer screen up in the press box, so whoever's doing it can obviously see like what the camera's seeing. But that's been great too. But I think end zone camera as an offensive line guy is definitely something that is very, very important as well.
Yeah. Because before we get too much farther, I just want to say I want to appreciate all the love and support everybody's been showing. Last week's episode was absolutely phenomenal. I had a blast doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, I've had countless people, probably, when I say countless, there's probably 5 to 7 guys being like, "Hey man, can't wait for the next podcast," and that's just as a huge encouragement. And I told Coach about it. Y'all make sure y'all hit up Coach about it too. Like, don't just text me. Like, text Coach.
No.
But yeah, it's absolutely awesome. You guys have been like, man, I can't wait to get on there with you guys and just interact. So if you are just watching, make sure you interact with us, guys. And just comment. If you want to go hop over on the YouTube, you can do that. I know probably the commenting is a little bit easier over there, but you can also do it on Twitter as well. You might as well, right? And hang out with us. So I will say this. I know Coach Trotter just finished up. There he is.
Got
Right on time. Checking in. First regular season, volleyball practice with success. Didn't make any of them cry. Only one got hurt. Hey,
Love
man,
it.
as long as they didn't get hurt, it'd be all right.
Bump, set, spike, baby.
There you go. Coach, we're talking about equipment. We've talked about all types of equipment, not just a jugs machine, sled, all this. Right. It could be like talk about like huddle sideline, talk about like the turf tank, like for like painting fields, whatever it is to help make your life better, wants or needs. What is it? And I have a feeling I know what Coach is going to say.
I know exactly what he's going to say.
So we'll see what he talks about. But yeah, make sure y'all tap in with us and let us know. But Coach, I was wondering if you want to talk about some of these subtopics that we kind of laid out as well. There it is. We'll see.
Going to make the Spiders this week. The man is living the dream in Pine Lake Prep, man.
Yeah, man.
Name something better.
Got some subtopics, kind of maybe some things maybe people don't really know about, or they kind of their head coach just does, and it kind of just happens. There it is.
We just assumed that you were going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all know what Reps is, it's a VR system where you got the headset on, and you can record your concepts, and you basically have like your quarterback or whoever you want in there making real time decisions and audio, visual, all those different type of things. Virtual reality. So really, really cool. Coach was able to pick that up and integrate that into his system. Every time we're kind of giving him a hard time about it, but it's really awesome.
Trotter, if you didn't say anything, it'd be like you buying a Maserati and not telling anybody.
Yeah, I'm driving around. What you driving in? Don't worry about it.
Right. I would pull up to everybody I know's house immediately.
Yeah.
So helmet reconditioning.
Yeah.
For us, we do everything. We do everything through Johnson and Lamb, which is like BSN. If you don't know, all it is a company that they basically have everything that you could need for athletic programs. So they just started doing reconditioning. I think it was 2 years ago. Our Johnson and Lamb rep, if that's somebody or a company that you're interested in learning about, we haven't had the greatest experiences with BSN at places I've been. But our Johnson and Lamb rep is named Bob Turner. He's a phenomenal person and very, very good at his job. He takes care of us. So they started doing reconditioning, and he comes and picks them up, tags them, bags them, all that. We don't have to take any decals off. We don't have to take chin straps off, none of that stuff. So I feel bad for the person who got our helmets this past year because we did pride stickers. Mm-hmm. And I even confirmed with him a couple of times. I was like, look, are you sure we don't have to take the decals off? And he said, no, we don't have to. So somebody, I don't know how they do it, but somebody did it. And the other thing that's cool about when they do it too is they don't pay or they don't charge extra. Coach Jones, how you doing? They don't charge extra for changing paint color, which I think is cool. The helmet behind me was our helmet last year. We actually are going to, and I think it's so slick, man. We're going to gloss. Well, we went. Our helmets are back now. It's another thing that's great about them is it's super fast. But we went to gloss black with gold flake in it. And if you don't know, our colors are black and gold. So it turned out phenomenal. And I was really nervous about it. Like the kids were like, Coach, can we try something different with the helmets? And I was like, look, man, I'll think about it. Because I had never seen one with just gold flake. Like when I was in high school, we had black helmets. And I think we just had like a variety of colors flake. I had never seen like just specific one color. And I had heard something about Farmville Central having that helmet similar to what we got. So I messaged him and he sent me pictures and I was like, this could be really cool. And the helmets that we bought this past year or this off season, came in first, and man, I waited like 2.5 hours to open that box because I was scared that it was going to be ugly. And I
Yeah.
opened that thing up and I pulled one out, and I was like, "Oh my gracious, we're never going back."
Yeah.
So
We're switching up helmets. I'm not saying what we're doing. I was asked not to. So
oh
we are
man,
yeah, I'll text you,
what's
but
it?
we're
Y'all were gray or white?
no, we're black. We're black helmets.
Why did I think it was something lighter?
In North Carolina we were white, but at Walkertown we're black. So yeah, we're doing some things with our helmets, but yeah, that I love you had to make sure you preface your thing with hey, will you take these stickers off? Because because when I was at Tallwood, we had to do that. Like they took the stickers off. We did prize stickers like that. And we had a lot of guys that had a lot of them. And I'm like, yeah, I
No,
don't want to
no,
be the guy that has to peel those things off.
no.
Sitting there with a putty knife, and they're trying to take these things off. That'd be
Right.
awful.
And
Yeah.
the company that we get our decals from is called Healy Awards. I started working with them when I was at Norview because I didn't know like where people got them from. So I posted on Twitter and somebody told me and gave me the number of the person that they use. And I mean, their decals, man, you take them off, like you're like paint's coming off. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that's bad for like the paint job on the helmet or good because like the sticker, but they're the real deal.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think today like how they get those decals off faster. Yeah, they're great. They can literally like I'll message her on Twitter and be like, "Look, this is what I'm thinking. Can you do it?" And she'll send me like a proof of it um within like a couple hours. So if you're looking for decals or you need somebody, Healy is a great company.
Yeah.
Um
I need
you
to hit
know,
them up for sure.
I had to like ask our rep because she covered Virginia. I didn't know if she covered North Carolina. So I like messaged her when I got the job and I was like, look, like I don't know how it's gonna work, but that's what like I need you to be our rep still. And we've done some like different things here and at Norview. And I mean she kills it.
Yeah.
She kills it.
I've heard of the skins helmet covers.
What are
Um,
those?
Basically, it's just think of it like a guardian cap that's not as thick. It literally is like it's literally a shell. It goes over your helmet that barely looks like it's another thing on top of it, and just makes it like a whole new color.
Excuse me. I think I've seen those like colleges wearing them, and I
Yeah,
couldn't figure out what they were.
yeah, yeah. They're. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you literally. I mean, it's gonna be cheaper than getting all your helmets repainted.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I mean, everything new is coming out. You know, it's to make everything seem more appeasing to the eye
Right. No doubt.
and or making it easier. Let's talk about because I don't know about you. I'm getting a bunch of DMs. I don't know if they're spam or if they're legit people just trying to help out, but a lot about balls. Talking about like these footballs, literally like trying to mudding balls and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm good. Like I know how to break into football, and so like but the process of actually breaking into football, whether you use like the mudding or whatever, or whether or not you use shaving cream and a brush, that's what we always did. We always use shaving cream and brush.
There
Um,
is a science behind it.
yeah. What do you do when you break in your footballs?
And let me say this. I hate doing it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I really don't like doing things that are like multi-day, like stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's like a 2-day process. Let me say this. I went and I randomly thought of like, have you seen the big brushes like with the wheels? You turn it on, and colleges have
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
polish the ball and all that stuff. Don't
Yeah.
buy one. Do this.
Really.
Go to Harbor Freight.
Mm.
Okay. Get a bench buffer for $65. Okay. There's like a stand for $35. Bang. You have your brush.
Mhm.
That's what I've been using this year. And oh my God, it's so much faster. So I broke in. All right. So let me go back. My process.
Mhm.
First thing I do, pump them all the way up, or not all the way up, but like
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the specs are, but anyway, pump them up, and I get a towel, get it wet, and I wipe them. And typically the towel starts to turn orange because of the dye.
Yeah.
So I do that, and I'm not like anything crazy. Like when it starts to get darker leather, I'll stop and let it dry. Once I'm done with that, really by the time, like obviously it depends on how many you're doing, but like we got 6 this year. Year before we got 12. So by the time you're done like wiping the first one, or excuse me, the last one, the first one's ready for like the next step or whatever. So wipe them all off with a wet towel, let them dry. Then I put shaving cream on them. Crowther 2-man's a big one, no doubt.
Yeah.
PVC, in the words of Coach Trotter, PVC is Legos for coaches. I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
It's great,
Yeah, no question. So a bunch of shaving cream on all the sides. Once let that dry. I normally wait like an hour or so. And then there's when your bench buffer comes in. Take it, put it on the buffer, and all that shaving cream comes off so much easier. Just run it back and forth. I can send a picture of ours if anybody wants to see it. Super, super easy. Very cheap. It just came to me one day. I was going to post it on Twitter, but I thought people were going to make fun of me, so I didn't do it.
Well, people didn't make fun of you for your shoot, man. So
I'll post the buffer on Twitter. Anyway, so get all the shaving cream off. I normally like wipe it down with a dry towel after that. And then I use like the leather conditioner. I'll leave the leather conditioner on for about 2 hours, 2 hours. Really just depends, honestly. When you see it like start to look dry, I'll normally start brushing it, or in this case, buffing it off. So once I'm done with that, then I get the mud. I was not a believer in the mud at first. I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand the point. I got like a tub of it. I don't remember how much it was. It's honestly like kind of expensive for mud, in my opinion, but it's like some special stuff from like the special river. It's probably just like ridiculous. But anyway,
from the Dead Sea, you just have some mud.
Right, it's something crazy. I don't know. So then I leave that on it overnight. And then once, like the next day or whatever, it says to leave it on there for like 6 to 18 hours or something like that. I've come back 2 days later. Like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt anything. And then I either brush or buff all that off, and then you're ready to roll. What I told my kids last year when I first started doing this was like, look, I don't want to hear nothing about like complaining about, the football's too hard, yada, yada, yada. I dropped it because the football's hard. It's like, look, the amount of work that I put into these footballs, we should be catching everything. Obviously, it didn't matter. But so I feel like I did it one time, so now I have to keep doing it. But I think too, like if you're not throwing it a lot, there really isn't any point.
I was gonna say that was us last year. Like I never at North Orleans we threw it a good bit, so we did, but all we did was a shaving cream. We scuffed it with the wire brush. Right. Whereas last year we literally broke them out, went on. We literally they were still like that that golden yellow color when we got them out.
Yeah.
And over time, they'll be dropped a couple times or put on the ground and roughed up, and it'll be looking like the rest of them. But yeah, we never scuffed them up last year. So
yeah, I think the other thing too, and I don't know if anybody else is having this problem. So like the GST is like the state ball that you have to use in the playoffs. The last 2 years, So, like I said, last year we got 12 because they were doing like a deal. You could get the logo on it for free if you bought a certain amount. Or I think it was like 10, and then you got 2 free and you got the logo or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we did that. We had probably 6 footballs that wouldn't hold air like
Really?
3 or 4 weeks into the season. It got to the point by the end of the season where I would pump up all the footballs before, like during my planning period. Then pregame, we'd have to pump them all up again just so like when the ref checked them, that they would have enough air in them.
Mhm.
So I'm not a huge fan of GST right now. I know they got that like super nice one. That's probably what Trotter has. He's probably got like 75 of them. That new Wilson football. And I mean, those look nice, but they're like $175 a piece or something crazy like that. I've heard really good things about Team Issue. I don't know if anybody uses those footballs. I heard it's like they're like fully customizable too, like logos. You can change like the stripe color, which I don't know if I would do. The laces color, all that stuff. So
that's bougie right there.
Right, like we can't do it. Obviously, we could to use them in the regular season, and then you're throwing a new football, and it's different or whatever. But I'm trying to pull up his Twitter right now so I can make sure I say it right. I found a guy on Twitter, and I posted about it a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, probably. Named D.A. Sedmick, and he repairs footballs. So you mail your footballs to him, and he replaces the bladder, the laces, all that stuff, and it's very, very cheap. It's like $25 a ball. So I just sent him like 8 or 9, and like a couple day turnaround too. So, for me, we're blessed to have like more than the basic necessities of coaching and playing, but that doesn't mean I want to have to buy brand new footballs every year, or athletics or whatever the case is. So, and plus the amount of time that we spend breaking them in, then you got to start the process all over again.
Yeah.
It winds up working out a little bit better, but I would definitely look that guy up if you're having problems with footballs. But I asked our rep with Johnson and Lamb too. I was like, is anybody else having problems with GSTs losing air? And he said no. So I don't know. I don't know what we were doing. I mean, we don't like our new footballs. We don't run through the jugs machine or anything like that. So I don't know how it happened, but
talk about jersey rotation as well, because I mean that's just the next kind of logical thing to talk about. Jersey rotation. Maybe people don't understand that jerseys are on a rotation. Like you have so many set years as your AD, and you kind of agree towards before you get new jerseys, or if your money allows you to. Talk about that a little bit.
So for us, and really everywhere I've been, it's been every 4 years. So like the 5th year, you get a new one, or you get a new set. So home and away, or whatever. We have sports at our school and sports at schools I've been where they, smaller sports obviously, are able to buy new uniforms every, year, 2 years, whatever. And, the kids are like, Coach Rapp, when are we getting new uniforms? We got them not last year, the year before. I'm like, guys, like, it's not like we're buying basketball jerseys and shorts for 15 kids. We're buying a jersey that has to be like good quality or it's going to get ruined fast, and pants same way. And we're doing it for 65 kids. So that's something that I always say, if I coached a sport where it was like 15 kids, man, the amount of stuff like that the kids would have would just be crazy.
Like basketball's the life, man. Being a basketball coach is the life.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how it's been everywhere I've been. and we went to they're called Ally. So we used to be Adidas, and God, what was the company called before they changed it to Ally? Pro Look is what it was called. And they're really nice. They have like a sublimated one so that you can get reversible or whatever. They call it tackle twill, so it's like the numbers and letters and all that stuff is sewn onto the jersey. Really, really good quality. And they have like it's fully customizable too. Like you can put whatever you want on it. And my biggest thing is like we had black Adidas jersey pants that were in good shape. We had like a stock away jersey and pants. So I was like, look, we can keep wearing the black ones. We need a new white one, and I want to get gold. But the biggest thing I wanted to be able to wear them all like, we could go gold on black, black on gold, whatever the case is. And the lines and stuff like that on the jersey and the pants and all that stuff matched. So that way it didn't look weird. So that's a good thing about like that Ally company is they have so many different options when it comes to that stuff. But that's always something cool to do is like design your uniforms.
We're going on year I think 6 now. So
really?
this year trip coming in, we're getting new uniforms. So that was kind of a big push, kind of like, hey, guys, trying to change the look a little bit and trying to same feel, different vibe, and kind of brew some excitement. So yeah, we're getting a different look on the helmets, and we're getting new uniforms. So that's going to be super, super exciting as well. Because when my first year at Tallwood, they got new uniforms and they changed to silver helmets because it was like the 25th anniversary or whatever of the school,
right?
Silver anniversary, and then in North Iran we ended up getting a green set of jerseys. We had gold. No, we had gold jerseys and we had white jerseys, and then they had some old school black ones that the previous coach had. Pearson hated them, so we never wore black.
Right.
Since there were certain occasions and nothing ever happened good when we played. We wore them in 3 games, and one we lost 15-0 to a team to lose the conference. Offense was playing good, couldn't score. Second time, got blown out by Salisbury, and second time we lost we won, but we had to play on 2 different days because of I told y'all somebody hit the freaking transformer at school.
Yeah.
And friggin' the whole power went out in the whole school. So I had to come back on Saturday. So we didn't wear black again. Then we got blown out by Salisbury. So that was it on wearing black.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we transitioned to some new stuff at Walkertown now.
What colors did y'all have last year?
So we have a red jersey and a white jersey, and then we have black pants and white pants. That's kind of it. We have, that's about it. We have black jerseys, but they're the JV.
Right.
So we will put those on, just so we can go black on black. But yeah, they're the older jerseys. Let's see.
Yeah.
Charter says my second year, we got new navy jerseys this year. Year 5, we got new white. Probably won't get new navy for another 2 years. Works out 5 to 6 years per jersey. Yeah.
That's the thing too, is like if you have nice quality stuff, you can get like an alternate color. You know what I mean? Like you can get something that's going to mix with the ones that you have. Like next time we're up, I'll get new blacks, and I think I'm going to go gray.
Yeah.
So all white is the best uniform combination you can wear. I love all white.
I'll say yes, but there's something about that all black, man. It is tough. Like, obviously it's bad luck at North Iran, but when we wore them last year, we looked tough, man. I mean, with the black helmet,
I like all black, but all white. And part of the thing too is like when I think of uniforms, for some reason I always think of like a skill guy wearing them. So like I text the other head coach and make sure that they're okay with it. I don't believe him. There was rules. Never mind. Don't get me started. But
See,
the
all whites comes this year, all gold. Be mixed match this year, not allowed to use black. So yeah.
Johnson, them all whites, man, you can't beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat it. But that's like part of my thing too. Is like I will always buy our sets as all whatever color, because then you can like mix and match them. You know, like at Norview, we had what do we have? We had blue pants and black pants, but we didn't have black jerseys. And I was like, well, we can wear white and black, but we can't wear all black. So I don't know.
Yeah. Because Foster said they wore maroon and black. The maroon on the black especially.
All maroon would be sweet.
Yeah. That's why I was talking about the game day skins, get all white helmets, all white everything. Yeah.
Are you talking about the ones? Okay, I was thinking of something different. I was thinking of like a padded like thing that went over your helmet. Are you talking about the ones that like sit directly on it and it basically makes it look like you have multiple helmets?
Yeah, I'm pulling this up right here.
Okay, those are sweet.
Not sponsored, but we're pulling them up.
Those are sweet.
Yeah, let's see.
My AD won't let us wear white helmets. He says that Perquimans wears black helmets. So we're wearing black.
Kind of got to roll that.
Yeah.
Football skins. Yeah, so it's just put it over top.
Right.
Not really showing much here, but okay. But yeah, you do different colors. But it's a cool idea.
For sure.
So we have navy pants. Okay. Yeah. Players give me for white. We're all white. Yeah, the kids love all white. They look like that frosted out look. They call it.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir. Plastic. Yeah. Not sure all white will look with silver helmets. It'll be. I've seen it before. It'd be interesting. I mean, hey, you just gotta sell it. Sell it. You sell anything, Coach. I mean, it's going. You be like, hey, this all white and this silver. It's dope. And the kids, those kids will buy into it. You be like, but you gotta sell it first.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it depends on like what shade of silver your helmets are too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like lighter would be better versus like a gray. I guess would be the.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Oh, there you go. Get matte gray. That'd be sweet. One of my buddies that coaches in Virginia, he's at Nansemond River. They have matte red helmets. Those are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know,
I like matte. Our helmets were matte.
Matt's kind of like phasing out, but
yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
you'd just be Pond Lake Prep Detroit Lions.
There you go. Get you Amon-Ra St. Brown too.
Yeah. You can go wrong with getting those two guys.
Matt Navy would be sweet too. With chrome face mask. Yeah, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet. Yeah, I wanted to get our face mask painted different colors. It's ridiculously expensive. At least through like who we use. Like we had I was trying to get what color was I trying? I don't even remember. They were like $35 a face mask or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's wild. And they don't even give you a new face mask. They just dip it.
Mm-hmm. Charter's gonna be like Oregon out there, man, with them chrome face mask. He's gonna have it, the pride, his pride logo in the middle. Yeah. Hey, you could go all out. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Pine Lake Prep University.
Pine Lake Prep University, man. But guys, we're talking about equipment. Kind of talking like a wider range. Kind of kept it light this episode. Some wants and needs. I kind of got into some behind the scenes with equipment needs. One thing I will say is, like I said, I've said this before, I'm a big equipment guy. It kind of was my niche to kind of be like we always try to say as an assistant, be irreplaceable. That was kind of my niche, and I liked doing it, so it was easy for me to do that. But for sure, find you something you're good at, and then sell it all out to make sure you're the best person doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I tried. That's what I tried to do whenever I've been in charge of equipment. If you love mowing the field, hey man, hey, volunteer to go mow the field and do that. If you're good at painting, then you're a saint. And
if you're good at painting, come to Perquimans.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like painting. Like I will do it, obviously, but yeah, it's not I don't think it's anybody's favorite thing to do.
Right. I got two more things that I want to talk about that has been great for us, and I actually got this. Let's see. I got this from Twitter. So, practice film. Very easy. Is my screen showing?
Yeah, I got you. There you go. Oh,
okay. Lord. All I can see is mine, so I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're up.
Practice film. This has been great for us. Yeah. We got a drone before last season, and it was very easy to use. We got this Fly More combo is what it's called. So it came with a batteries, charger, two batteries, a bag, the remote, and then like the screen is your phone that hooks up to the remote, and it just hovers there. And like there's a record and stop recording button on the remote, and you just roll. You can get literally every angle that you could ever want. Sideline, you can get. We film ours from either in front or behind, like an end zone camera, but you can fly it up and make sure that you can see receivers, all that stuff. That's something that has been very, very big for us. And then we have Wi-Fi at our practice field somehow, but we don't have it in the field house. I don't know. So I'll upload it as soon as team is done, and it's up there on Huddle before I even basically walk into the field house to lock everything up. So, like I said, I feel like I'm fairly technologically savvy, but when it came to that, I felt like I needed to have something that was going to make it to where an adult could make sure that we're filming and not have to focus all their attention on that. Coach Johnson, if you have any questions about our drone, I'm happy to help you. It has been a game changer for us. I had a parent that was, because I've been wanting to be able to film practice for a while, and I had a parent that was willing to pay for us to build like a big stand. But one of like our school district's concerns that I didn't even think about was how are we going to make sure that kids aren't like climbing up it and stuff like that. So there was a bunch of red tape that we had to go through and all that stuff. I can do a little Photoshop, Coach Jones, just a little bit, not as much as I used to, but just a little bit. I appreciate that. But the drone is very simple. Honestly, it's pretty fun to fly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a guy on my staff that's gonna do all the flying for it. But I'd be like calling plays at practice, and before the play starts, I click it and it makes like a little beep noise, so you know it's recording after the play. And it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that. The picture is extremely clear. But it's really easy to use. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I did it, I was pretty nervous, but we figured it out, and the kids like it. They always like want to take pictures when I'm bringing it back in and stuff like that. So that's cool. And then the other thing I was going to talk about, me and Trotter talked about it a couple of days ago. Hold on one second. It's called Sideline Design.
Yeah.
So I'm a big game day, something good happens graphic guy. When I was at Old Dominion, I started dabbling in Photoshop a little bit. It's very time consuming. So this is like a template library of, you could see here like St. Patrick's Day. the most anything that you could ever need. There's different like styles of stuff, scores, um, baseball cards. Obviously, like I don't know if I would use them for football. There's different. There's just like tons and tons of things. It's a subscription, but it's something that like I find necessary for our program because I'm big on like the marketing and putting our kids out and doing all that stuff. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. So like I make game day graphics and stuff like that. And I mean these are all different templates. And literally, like if you want to make this, it shows up, you change your logos to whoever, like Per Clemens versus Manio. So that would be our logo. Obviously, that would be Manio's logo. The school name, you change it, where the game's being played, the time, and then a picture of your team. I mean, it's very, very, very simple. And this is coming from a guy who does Photoshop also. Um, I don't know if I will use Photoshop again. And I don't think there's school wide stuff. So if you wanted to pitch it to admin or whoever, there's brackets for playoff time, Valentine's Day, every holiday they put something out. Christmas, obviously, New Year, Veterans Day. I mean, it's awesome. Um, I have 10 different graphics that I've already made for our season. I made 10 graphics for our season in the fall and did them all 10 of them in an hour. And like I said, I understand how that stuff works because I did Photoshop for so long. I've done a lot for Coach Owens. And I would just find something that I thought looked good and kind of did like similar to that, change pictures and stuff like that. Or tried to make it look the best I can, like what my idea was. And that, I mean, you're talking a couple minutes. Like I made my coach's Twitter headers or whatever they're called. So if you want one of them, let me know. And I mean, I'm doing some stuff. I got you, coach. I'm doing some stuff for some other sports, but the biggest thing for me is the time. Like making a schedule, getting the logos of all the teams we play, making sure they're lined up perfectly, making sure the dates are correct, the times are correct. The pictures look good, all that stuff. And this, man, it's incredible. So if you're like one of those guys who wants to promote your program, that kind of thing, again, if anybody has questions about sideline design, I'm happy to help. Actually, the guy who I talked to, and I'm sure is very, I appreciate that, Coach Johnson. He's very, very, I don't want to say approachable because I've never talked to him in person, but he's very like he's not one of those guys who's like, oh, I'm the CEO of the company, so I'm going to pass you on to whoever. His name's Chris Wilkerson. He's on Twitter. He's the CEO and founder of Sideline Design. And I started it because I entered to win like a free year of it. And we got a 14-day subscription. I was like, man, I don't know if I can give this up. It's just everything is so clean looking.
Yeah.
The other thing that helps with that for us is we do like a senior photo shoot every year, where they can take pictures like the official visit pictures and stuff like that. And I use those pictures to build all of our graphics. So that's where we get, some of the stuff where they're not just like running the football and breaking a tackle or throw, you know what I mean? Some of like the cooler stuff that the kids want to do. So, if you're going to get into like the graphic design stuff or anything like that, I would recommend that you do something like that with your kids. So that way you have nice, clean, clear pictures, to be able to use for that stuff. And then, you can move it around and make it look however you want from there.
Yeah, I've heard of Sideline Design. They do great stuff. I need to get up with them. To be honest with you, but I laugh at Coach Johnson because because his wife does his stuff. So
I love it.
He's tiptoeing. I'm sorry, I got to call you out there, Coach, but she does really good stuff. She did the logo for my coach's clinic coming up.
That looks good.
Yeah, and so she's great. But she edits all his stuff as well. So, but
Coach, I'm gonna stop paying for sideline design, and I'm just gonna get you to get your wife to make stuff for me.
There you go. Get us some business.
That's right.
But yeah. All this, it doesn't have this, like I said, we said it had to be exactly equipment. It's kind of just stuff that you got to get that will help your program out. Dang right, we're smarter, not harder, boys. No doubt. All right, Coach. It's that time of the podcast. Time for the question.
We're almost to 10 episodes.
Dude, we are.
We're cruising.
We are. Hey, man.
I love it.
We're going to figure out. I got to figure out what day that is. The
2 weeks from today, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks today would be. Let me see. Pull up my calendar.
21st is next week, so it'll be the 28th.
Yeah. I'm going to be in South Carolina. So my sister-in-law is graduating from boot camp. So
that's awesome.
I'll be there. And that, obviously that's spring break the next week for us.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out maybe if we want to record one and put it out, or we can figure that out later.
Right.
But it is time for the question of the week. If you don't know what that is, guys, basically each of us come up with a question every other week for each other, and we don't know what it is. Kind of like just springing on them, and then you guys can comment as well, play along. What would you do? Answer the question. But Coach, the question is: if you couldn't coach and you couldn't be a teacher, what would your profession be? What else would you have done in your life? Maybe you don't know, but what interests you? Maybe we can kind of piece it together.
That's a good one. I really think, and I mean, I still say this: when I was in college, I worked at a golf course in the summers, mowing grass. If I made what I make teaching, and I could still coach football, I would still work at a golf course.
Yeah.
And I think that I would work, again, assuming I could live off of it, I think that I would work at a golf course.
Yeah.
Because
when you said you like to mow, I was going to say you could be a landscaper. I was going to throw that at you, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I did, that was always my summer jobs. I worked for a landscaping company, I think, right after I graduated high school that summer. And then I worked at a golf course in Chesapeake called Greenbrier Country Club. I mowed grass and did all that stuff there. I don't know. I just loved it. The hours were great. We worked 6 to 2 every day. So I had the entire day after that. And with that, I would only want to do it in the summertime. I'm not into mowing grass in the winter. I don't want to mess with any of that. But yeah, man, I think that's what I would do. I think I'd be working at a golf course somewhere.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I would love to do radio. I have a face for radio, so face for radio, voice for what is it? Voice for I don't know. It was something like that. It's a face for radio, voice for I don't know podcast.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
I don't remember what it is. But yeah. But I would do some type of a radio, disc jockeys, have a show, podcast, something like that. Or I would love to do announcing for sports.
Yeah.
Or get into. I don't like writing that much, but when it comes to sports, I can write about it. Do some type of sports journalism and interview coaches and ride around into games and watch games for a living.
That'd be sweet. See, Trotter's answer made me rethink mine because I've said for a long time now that when I retire, I want to be a game warden.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would jump directly into that, but I would definitely that and working at a golf course are up there for me.
Can you imagine the bounty hunters? And you see Trotter and his friend, 6'10" and 6'6", just busting down doors.
I honestly didn't know that Trotter was old enough to retire from something.
Yeah.
I thought he was our age.
Trotter is like, he's the man. He's the
You look good, bud.
Yeah.
Army Special Forces would be sweet.
For college protein marketing. Yeah, I love marketing. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I would love that too.
I'm not sure I'm the right like body type to be Special Forces.
I'm not. I'm not body type or the discipline. So I'm in it right now. Yeah. I have a problem with authority. So I tell my wife all the time.
I was actually thinking about my question for next week today, and I forgot it. I should have put it in my phone or something like that. Dang, Trotter, you're only 39, or you're already 39. Good for you. Yeah. Seasoned. Yeah. How long you been coaching for?
That's a good question. I know it's been a minute, but we talked a little bit the other day about some stuff, and it was we didn't get into how long he's been coaching. But he's been around the bend though. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. People that I didn't even know knew him or didn't even know that we're in the same area. Like, well, yeah, Trotter, man, that's my dude. I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah, I've known him for like 3 weeks now, and he's helped me a ton. So,
yeah,
he's all right by me.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how I first met him. I don't know if it's through Twitter. It probably was through Twitter, but I don't know like how. Maybe I don't know. Let's see if he knows. But that's hilarious. But yeah, I was thinking about that question like all week. Let's see. It's okay.
Gotcha.
Dope.
A little while.
Say always hear good things about him down there. Oh yeah, people love him, man.
Yeah,
people love him. But I mean, he won't say it, but it's our show, so I'll say it for him. Not say it for him, like, but he people would leave his kids alone. Same thing for me, and I'll say it. He did not say that. I'm just saying it. But people leave my kids alone too. It'd be awesome and great. But yeah, love that dude.
Geographics helps us. That doesn't keep people from trying though.
Yeah. We're kids. This would be a different topic for another day. But literally, I went and looked at a DM from a coach in our county today from one of our kids, and if I wish I had that dude's number, because we'd be having a one-sided conversation right now. Because I know who he is, and yeah, and I've seen some things that he said before too. So, like trying to, oh yeah, man, about the kids and all that stuff. I have them fooled.
Trotter probably knows him. Between Trotter and Johnson, they know him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. I don't know. They coach at a very insignificant high school in our county, so I'll say that.
Oof.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't do recruiting, man. I don't do it.
I don't either.
Grinds my gears.
Yeah, I'm with that. Are we going to any
Jonathan, text me.
Is anybody going to any like school 7-on-7s this summer? Like colleges? Maybe ECU, NC State.
Or not.
UNC.
We're doing all local ones. We're doing just with other high schools, and we're actually hosting one.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I wish we were closer. We'd come.
Yeah, I know.
Tell Honeycutt to get us a hotel that night, and we'll be there.
Oh yeah. We'll just put y'all up in the local spot. Let's see. Coach Metzger's down in Montgomery Central, Arid.
I don't know.
Hey, Coach, you know who Coach Metzger is?
I don't know many people like out that way.
Yeah, Coach Metzger. That's Coach Johnson's mentor. He played for him when he was at Pinecrest.
Gotcha.
Now, yeah, so he was at Playbook.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you, man, we're in like our own pocket of the world out here. 252, man. Wouldn't have it any other way. Love it.
Yeah, I mean the corner of the state.
The corner.
Oh man. But yeah, guys. If y'all don't have anything else, you really quickly type it in unless you have something you want to ask about. But we're probably wrap this episode up. I'll just keep it straight 100. Excuse me. Today was not a great day, and so at the school, I tweeted it out, but that's not a secret. But coming on with Coach Rapinick, talking to you guys, and I had my offensive line meetings today, and seeing those kids, man, I don't know, it really filled my cup today, and really brought me back, man. So I appreciate all my buddies, man, for keeping me afloat. I appreciate everybody else for watching, even if they didn't comment, just for watching. It's really awesome. So make sure you guys follow CTR Culture Podcast, which is the Twitter of the podcast. Make sure you follow that. We're almost at 100, like it's 99. So you might as well go ahead and follow it, man. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube if you're watching it on there. If you're not, go and find it just at Coach Tatum, and then subscribe and make sure that share a video with somebody that may can find some value in it, and then follow Coach Rapinick on Twitter, man. Follow and then hit him up about show ideas and tell him that you're really excited for the next week's episode.
Hey, I just the pocket, you know what I mean, the corner.
Yeah,
the corner. Our Wi-Fi isn't good enough out here.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, Coach, we want to send the folks out, and we'll wrap up the episode.
Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Episode 8. It's getting more and more fun. I will say that. Also, another not great day. Just busy, very, very busy. Was tired, but it definitely easy, Trotter. Easy.
I'm not gonna put that on the show. So
yeah, don't put that up there. But definitely always look forward to this every week. So it helps. There's no doubt about that. Thank you for bearing with me with my voice situation as well. Next week, it's either going to be completely gone or I'm going to be back to normal. There's no in between. So go Pirates.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, make sure that you're coaching for the right reasons. You're coaching to help these kids out, man, because they really, really need men of character with them to guide them a little bit, love them up. Coach them hard, but love them up afterwards, man. Until next week, I'm Coach Tim. That's Coach Rapinick, and I appreciate y'all watching. See you.
See y'all.